228, truck 6, truck 3, battalion 3, and the on-call inspector. 2303 West 46th Street, number 208.
I'm Division Chief Luke Smith, and on this episode of Sioux Falls Fire, we're going to be talking through what it takes to be a new candidate for the City of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We're going to be going to visit the second annual Ignite Academy, and we're going to visit a disaster drill that Sioux Falls Fire, Patient Care EMS, Southeast Tech, and the Sioux Falls School District all hosted together. All this and more on Sioux Falls Fire. We are out here at the CTE Academy, part of the Sioux Falls School District. We are here with Jeremy Robertson, the EMS educator for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. Jeremy, what do we have going out here today?
Yeah, so this is an opportunity to really kind of hone in our skills on a mass casualty incident. For this scenario, we have approximately 50 patients, so we're involving Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, PCMS ambulance, on how we work through triage the patients, find out who's the most critical, and then transport them in the proper manner. And then at the other end of campus, we also have Southeast Tech's nursing program, where the patients are actually being delivered there, and they're working through their logistics of a lot of patients in that nursing ER setting.
So we're setting up a mass casualty incident. What type of scenarios in the real world do we see this happening?
So by definition, a mass casualty incident is any incident that has more patients than the resources you have available. So typically something like this, for this scenario, we used a tornado came through. Recently, tornado went through Sioux Falls, came scientific event. But anything that is a large number of patients, a large number of people that are injured, how do you manage through that process to be able to treat the most people and do the most good for it?
Why is it so important that we get the partnerships with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, PCMS, and even the school to work through this?
So what's really great about this particular scenario is we have some different students that we're working with. So there's an EMT class here at Southeast Tech. There's also the nursing program the EMT program at CTE and the nursing program at Southeast Tech. But what it relies on is the communication and actually practicing some of these scenarios because they don't happen very often. And as we practice this, then we learn about communication and how to deal with patients, whose role is what. So it's really great to bring all the players into this, not only for the new students that are coming up to see how we as Sioux Falls Fire operate, but also to polish our skills, because fortunately it's one of those things that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, which is great, but it's great that we get to practice on it. Over the years, have you seen things evolve within our practices through Sioux Falls Fire Rescue and PCMS by doing a drill like this?
Oh, absolutely. So the more times you're able to practice something like this, if it does ever happen in a real world environment, but our process have changed so much. Now that we have the capability of having transport ambulances, we have the capability of a mass casualty ambulance, which is a great add-on to our service, that we can transport more people than a standard ambulance. So there's a lot of things that have changed, not only in equipment that we have prepared for this, even down to the way we triage people, where we used to use tags that were very cumbersome. Now we've gone to a ribbon system, which is super easy to manage to identify critical patients. So all kinds of changes.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're here with Amy Drummond, the EMT teacher for CTE Academy. Amy, what students do we have here at CTE?
We have my EMT students. I have 15 of them, and they are running a mass casualty event today.
So you've partnered with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, PCMS. What type of value does this bring to the students to work together with those in the community?
It is a huge training value. They get to learn all of their skills throughout the semester and then use those skills in this simulation, kind of real world, in reality, and tie it all together. And this is why I learned it. This is what I need to do. So it's really cool to tie it all together.
What type of skills are they learning throughout the year to prep them for this?
Yeah, they're using different airway techniques, boarding, splinting, all of those mass casualty, high incident scenario techniques.
So what are these students hoping to do following completion of this program?
Yeah, so they are actually right at the end of their semesters.
How many students do you typically get in a year, and what do you kind of plan for next couple years?
I'm usually right around 15 to 18 students, and hopefully we'll continue growing every year. And I think this mass casualty simulation helps with that too.
So we're also finishing up here at Southeast Tech. Is that a partnership with CTE? How have you guys worked together?
Yeah, they just joined last year. We asked them to join because they have a mock ER bay that looks like a receiving hospital, and this kind of just allows us to continue on that care over to a hospital, and then they are carrying on with surgeries and caring for patients that way, behavioral health, mental health, and that piece as well.
Well, this is amazing. We really appreciate you partnering with us, and we look forward to more in the future.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kyle Blakesley. I am a fire apparatus operator and the fire and life safety educator for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. And we are at Ignite Academy, an annual academy that we hold for the public to learn about what it's like to work for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We do this academy to educate our public Sioux Falls residents or surrounding area residents on what we do for our job and everything that goes into it, and we hope that by learning more about the job, we will have people apply for the job. It takes a whole group effort to put the academy on. The majority of who puts it on are the women of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, and then we have crews who come in the weekend of and help us run stations. So we have a lot of hands-on stations, and we want to make sure that there's enough employees of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue keeping watch and educating our participants and making sure they're doing everything the right way and staying safe. This year we let in 20 applicants for our Ignite Academy to keep it more hands-on for everybody. Participants were able to learn about how to extricate cars. They got hands-on our extrication tools. We did several EMS stations where crews or the squads that we put them in, they learned how to do CPR or stop the bleed. They were taught how to force open doors. We gave them rides in the fire engine with the lights and sirens on so they could see what it's like to ride to a priority call. And then we had speakers come in to learn about benefits and hiring, and had a mental health presentation as well.
My name is Catherine Seward. I am 19 and I'm currently in Lincoln, Nebraska going to school. What I've enjoyed about the Ignite Academy so far is kind of getting an inside look as to what the fire service looks like and observing the camaraderie between everybody on the team and how the engines work together and how everybody on their crew works together, and seeing just how close they are and the teamwork that they have. One of the best things I've gotten to do over this weekend was pulling hose line and seeing what that's like when you're on the ground on a scene, and the pressure and the force behind the hoses, and how even that is a team effort because you have 2 or 3 people on a hose at a time.
Hi, my name is Heather and I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I am 41 years old and I decided to do the Ignite Academy because I wanted to try something different. I've had the same corporate job for 22 years and I've always wondered if I would have what it takes to be a firefighter or be a medic and what that would look like. So this was a great opportunity in a safe spot to give it a try and see if I have what it takes.
My name is Joe Brielle. I'm 29, from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Live here in Sioux Falls though. The reason I came to Ignite Academy, it gives me a good insight on being a firefighter and just the opportunity to really live it out, at least throughout these 3 days that we've been here. And I just like the opportunity just because it's something that I'm thinking about doing, and it gives me a great insight to everything.
If Ignite Academy is something that appeals to you, make sure you keep your eyes open next spring for applications. We typically open them February, March for Ignite Academy towards the end of April.
Today we're here at fire station number 5 doing our iPad, our physical ability test, the individual physical ability test. We have to do this within Sioux Falls Fire Rescue every single year. This is a test that our members need to pass in order to show that they are physically competent for duty. This is the minimum standard that needs to be hit, and because of that, all new candidates must pass this test as well. This test consists of 8 different stations. We have an equipment carry with weight on our shoulders. They wear a 50-pound vest throughout, and we put 25 pounds on their shoulders to begin. They'll then go to a stair climb. After that stair climb, the vest or the weight is then removed. They will do a recovery walk. They will pull a sled for 25 feet that weighs 320 pounds. After that, they'll raise a halyard, which is the rope we use to raise ladders, so they'll simulate that. They'll do another walk, do another stair climb for 1:42 seconds, and then finish up with a small equipment carry with 2 kettlebells that weigh 15 pounds each. All these movements are used to simulate the movements and the tasks that are needed when we are on the fire ground. The carry simulates carrying a chainsaw. The halyard raise is raising a ladder. The step walk simulates climbing up steps while holding onto equipment. As a minimum standard, this is what needs to be met every single year, but we expect individuals to go above and beyond. Each station is provided with gym and equipment. We have resources provided that each individual can tailor a program based on their needs. But as long as they're passing this test, everybody's fit for duty to continue to provide a high caliber of care to the citizens of Sioux Falls. We just completed watching the IPAT, the test that all firefighters with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue must take, but candidates who are new to Sioux Falls Fire Rescue and potential future employees need to take this test as well. So today we're going to talk with Chad Quissel from HR. He's going to explain what this process looks like to become a firefighter with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. So we just hit on the iPad a little bit, but what's the full process look like to become a firefighter with Sioux Falls?
For sure, yeah. I have the fortunate ability to be able to help hire for Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. I would say we open up applications once per year, and so that's the first step. Typically in the spring, we'll open up applications where people apply. After that, all candidates are invited to take an entrance examination. So that's a virtual examination where we test things on cognitive ability, integrity, decision-making, reading, writing, math, map reading, all things that requires no previous firefighter experience, no previous EMT experience. So we're looking for individuals of all walks of life looking to take that test. So that's the first step. Once candidates pass the entrance test, they're invited to interview for the position. That's really where we want to hear the passion, hear why they want the job, why they want to serve, and then that leads us into the IPAT and doing the physical fitness assessment.
So we do the written exam and then we do the interviews. That's kind of the stage we're at right now for 2027 class.
Yep, exactly.
How many candidates did we have take the written test, and then how many are we looking to hire?
Yeah, we're fortunate with Sioux Falls Fires to get a lot of applications. It's always a very competitive process. These last 2 years have been the most competitive it's been in the last 10 years. I would say we get several hundred candidates that want to be part of it. We'll bring everyone in for the entrance test. We'll typically bring about the top third to interview for the position, and then we'll continue moving them forward. Every year, we're looking to hire anywhere from a dozen to 3 dozen staff. Based on kind of the needs. Are we building a new station? Do we have a lot of retirements upcoming? That type of stuff. The good thing is we have really good retention, so we don't have to fill a lot of spots, but that's typically what we look for, is we look for a couple dozen candidates to bring through to the finish line.
So once they pass this iPad, is there steps that they need to take before actually getting into academy?
For sure, yes. Once they pass the iPad, they're deemed eligible for employment. That's really when we start doing conditional employment offers. We bring them in, we start doing background checks, we start doing medical screenings, looking over their body, making sure they're physically fit. We do a psychological screening. To get them ready, we have all of the fall to do that. Typically, our academies start in February of the new year, so we're kind of almost 6 months ahead of time, really taking our time to do that. Once candidates successfully pass all of their screenings, we then try to give them a couple of month notice of a final offer so they can figure out, okay, is this the right fit after I've learned more about Sioux Falls Fire Rescue? How do I exit out of my current career, potentially relocating? We see candidates from all across the country want to be part of Sioux Falls Fire, and that leads us into getting into our academies.
I was just going to hit on that. We see a lot of candidates from all over. Where do you see individuals mostly come from? And then what's the furthest that we get candidates from?
For sure. I would say everywhere, especially now our processes, they can be done virtually. The technology has helped. For example, this last year, we had 2 candidates come from California. LA County, actually, we had somebody come from Trenton, New Jersey. All walks of life, all areas of the country, and a lot of them don't have ties to Sioux Falls. They hear about Sioux Falls Fire being nationally accredited. They hear of our high standards, how much the community enjoys us, the facilities, the equipment we've built and invested in, and so that draws them in, which is super exciting to see.
What are you looking for in the ideal candidate for Sioux Falls?
Great question. Positive attitude, really a desire to serve this community, a desire to give back, being coachable, being willing to be interested and curious and being a lifelong learner. I think those are some of the key attributes we look for.
So when we're looking for candidates, is there a specific degree they need or some type of background that would make them an ideal candidate for Sioux Falls?
Yeah, good question. Our minimum qualifications to be eligible for employment are they're minimum. We have an age requirement for all of our public safety roles in our uniform positions. It's ages between 21 and 44, and then a high school degree. So we don't require any education, we don't require require certain certifications that they have. We do all that in-house, and so we love to get people with all sorts of experience in life. When they come into the academy, it's a 15-week academy. The first two portions of it, first 10 weeks are Fire 1 and Fire 2, so really training the fire side of things. The last 5 weeks is EMT. We pay for all those certifications. We train them along the way. So that really brings in the best people with the best skill sets. We can train the rest. We cover all of that. We just want to try to find the best mindsets we can.
Awesome. Yeah, I would agree with that. Bringing individuals with a variety of backgrounds is really what makes Sioux Falls Fire Rescue
For
unique.
sure.
So thanks for taking time, and I
Yeah.
appreciate all the work you do with
Yeah.
hiring new candidates.
Yeah, thanks, Luke.
Firefighter Tristan Arango at Station 1. Arrived on scene, had smoke showing from the Charlie side. Wasn't sure what entry going into, so we pulled a line at the front door, had made forcible entry. Well, we made entry. It was looks like a first-story building. There were 4 in the office. It was really smoky when we got in there, couldn't see anything. Had a door to the right, forced that one too. And we noticed that it was coming from the Charlie Delta side corner where the kitchen was at, and made a good knockdown with there. Some concerns with these old structures with a balloon frame, it being at its floor to ceiling, really making sure of the extension throughout the building. So we really use that thermal imaging camera, the TIC, making sure we're not finding any hot spots. So we're opening up all the walls, making sure everything's down to the studs. Safety tip would be make sure your smoke detectors are working, so checking those batteries, making sure it's not past that 10-year mark, and make sure you guys have an escape plan.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sioux Falls Fire. To learn more, or to learn how to become a member of Sioux Falls Fire, visit siouxfalls.gov/fire. Stay safe out there.